Welcome to Pal Exchange. My name is Ian.
My name is Bailey.
And I've lived in the US for about a year now. I'm born and raised in Uganda, though.
And I'm born and raised in the US and lived in Uganda for about a year.
And today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people struggle with when they move to different countries.
Exactly. And that is making friends. So, Ian, you've been in the US for about a year now, and so you've started to build up some form of community.
Yep.
But I'm sure that didn't happen right away.
Yep.
It didn't happen automatically.
Very true.
How was that experience for you? What was it like for you trying to make friends and build connections in a new country?
Yeah, making friends is not an easy peasy thing that you would maybe make. For instance, I would say back at home in Uganda, it is quite easy to make friendship per se.
Okay.
And then when you move into different countries, you would actually assume maybe this is what it is in all countries, and maybe this is how people create connections with each other. It's a little bit different. Okay, so when I first came to the United States, I don't know, when you see visiting people back at home, they would be friendly, they'll talk to you, they want to find out who you are and all. But then, yeah, that's what I thought when I came right here.
Okay.
But then that was not it. So I got to notice that people are a little bit in the US, a little bit should I say individualistic?
Yeah,
or
yeah. I mean, it's kind of said that the U.S. is a more individualistic culture, whereas Uganda is a more communal culture.
Yeah. So I got to find out that people are a little bit more individualistic and more to themselves, whereas back at home it was a little bit different. So that kind of created a loophole for me, to
it added an extra challenge to it because in Uganda, people just greet you on the streets, and or neighbors know each other. But here in the States, it's not as much the case. I remember you describing it one time to me as here people come home from work, and once they park their car in their garage, they shut the garage door, and you don't see them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, because look at this. I'll give you a scenario. So when I was in Uganda, I used to rent an apartment, and my neighbor on the left and my neighbor on the right knew me by name, and they actually even knew where I worked. But then right here, when I came here, it has taken me a while to get to know who actually lives on this side of my house, who lives on this side of my house, and who lives the other side and at the back side. Because, as you say, as I told you previously, people would come and you see, oh, there's a neighbor coming, but then he will have a car, his door remote in his car, and before he gets to his house, he'll turn on the remote, and then by the time he's right there, the door is open and he's in, and he's the door shuts. You never get to meet these people, so it kind of creates a big barrier to form these relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't happen as naturally because people are to themselves a lot more.
Exactly. Very, very, very more to themselves. And the other thing was that, look at this. It'll be very, even while I make connections with people, I've made you my friend, and now we kind of relate on more different things now. It's very hard in the US. You see how in Uganda you'll be I'm feeling very bored at home, let me go to Bailey's home without even telling you. I will just wake up and grab a border or a taxi, and I'll be at your place. And that seems okay. But then I noticed as well in the US, you can't just show up at any person's door.
Right. Things are more planned. Okay, if you're coming to someone's place, you need to
tell them.
Yeah, you need to tell
it's
them.
like
or
make an appointment.
You need to ask, basically. Yeah,
exactly.
Or be invited.
Exactly.
You know, otherwise you might be accused of inviting yourself over.
Exactly. Like make that phone call. Hey, I was planning of coming to your place maybe just to catch up Saturday. Are you available? And then when the person tells you I'm available, yeah, then you would come. If the person tells you I'm not available, don't come. I mean, someone could be home, fine. Or the person told you I'm not available and you happen to pass by their house and you see the door open. Or maybe them sitting at the patio. And you're like, oh, the person is home, let me just swing by.
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but...
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Like, I found a lot more of an, I don't know, open door culture in Uganda.
Yeah.
Like, when I was staying with host families, you know, like, people would just pass by randomly.
Yeah.
But then, in the Ugandan hospitality, doesn't matter who passes by or when, or if you're in the middle of something, but you stop what you're doing and you receive the visitor. You know, offer them something.
Another story
to
here.
eat or drink, and so, yeah, again, like, there's a different kind of openness which lends itself to meeting people and developing relationships.
Very true. Like my grandmom when I was growing up, so sometimes we used to go like the village, which you call the country here. My grandmom used to, like, sometimes we used to walk with her, but then she would walk and greet the whole village. Like, we would, like, imagine we're going to maybe like the store and maybe we're walking, so we would like pass by this house and you go and talk for about like 5 minutes, and like, so the more you keep walking, the more you keep finding other people that you know, and like, and you're going to these people's homes. It's like, oh, I have a friend right here, let's go and greet this person. So it will take you about an hour to get to your destination,
because you're making all these stops along the way.
You're making all these stands and stops along the way. So I mean, which actually didn't need an invitation, and people would actually be very happy to see you, you know, like, oh, it's been a while, but it's a little bit different here. People are working sometimes. I may tell you I'm not available because probably I'm working from home, and I don't need distraction. So that kind of gets a little bit different with the cultures that are set in two different kind of environments.
Right. So how did you overcome that barrier then, or what ways have you found to make friendships when the cultural environment and the lifestyles of Americans don't necessarily lead to it as naturally as in Uganda?
Yeah, I should say, before I actually get to like how I've actually overcome this, when you get into a new place, I need to tell you guys, it gets a little bit lonely, because you're not born here. Yeah. You don't have friends you went with to school here. Yeah. Maybe
you're coming in without connections, or maybe you have one or two.
Yeah.
If you know of people that have moved there previously to you, but
then
you don't have, things that you've shared with people.
Exactly, and the U.S. is like huge. So I would know someone. I'm living like right in the state, and then I'll know someone living in Massachusetts. So that takes me a flight to go there or drive for long hours. Yeah. So it gets like really lonely. But now ways on how like you can overcome this, I mean, get to start talking to people, like take initiatives. Like sometimes there are people who are shy to even talk to you. Yeah. They'll look at you and maybe they want to approach you, but they don't know how to approach you as well. You would say, and then this is where we get the misconception of saying people right here are mean, which is not true. Not everyone is mean. There are mean people in Uganda, mean people in the US, mean people in Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania. But it also happens like, how do you approach them? Okay, you can actually tell someone who is actually interested in talking. Yeah.
People might have the desire but don't know how to initiate.
Exactly. So like the first time I met you, I mean, when I talked to you, you could see this conversation flowing. Yeah. And you're like, I think this is a person I can talk to. I mean, it takes you to like have that kind of heart, like, because sometimes we are shy. Right. And you're like, how am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to start the conversation and all? And I would also say I know English very well. But then the English here, when I came here, it was a little bit different.
Right.
Sometimes people would speak and it would be like, what are they saying? And kind of got a little bit hard. So sometimes I was deterred from like getting into conversations because sometimes I don't hear the phrases, and it will also maybe be very hard for me to crack jokes within people. Like,
will they understand?
Exactly.
So, like, yeah, things in conversation that might be used as a way to connect with people or to bond.
True.
You're like is my joke actually going to land?
Exactly. So sometimes
are they going to get it?
You could say a joke that is actually going to make someone very mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like,
true.
Like you
or accidentally offend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
like you would like, because you find it as a joke where you come from, but then it couldn't be a joke right here. So it takes you a matter of time to actually get to know. So one of the things that really helped me make genuine connections here is one, like getting into church. I'm fine. I'm born in a Christian home, raised in a Christian home, but as well, like when you're right here, get into like that community of church, okay? Because right there you create everlasting bonds with people in church, because everyone is willing to get to know you. Everyone is willing to like talk to you, because it's like a place.
It gives you like, I think I know what you mean of it. It's important to find some area where you can find commonality with people.
Exactly.
When you're in a culture that it's not your own.
Very true.
Going into a church, okay, you at least had your faith in common with these people. And so whether they understand, the stories you tell from back home, or whether they understand all of your jokes.
Yeah.
But at least they get that part of your life.
Very true. And then we are like talking about genuine connections. I mean, people would choose to go to like bars. And they could get friends there, but then I'm talking about friends I'm going to keep, because I mean, even the Bible would tell you, blessed is the person who walks in the counsel of the godly, for he doesn't walk in the counsel. Like, you don't want to walk into that counsel that is not attached to God. So if you're looking to like start a new journey and a new beginning, like within your new culture that you're getting into then you want to start it right. Okay, so like joining church was a very big deal for me. The other thing is, so when I was like at work, there's someone who recommended Trey Ministries, the place we met. That is a young adult ministry. So like find out like which kind of events, like where the young adult ministries are in your community.
Or like hangout places, just things like that. Places where you can meet people in your age group. Maybe with some common interests. Sure.
Like, I mean, if they like the community is having an engagement of like cleaning somewhere, like try to take part of that. Like within those kind of areas you actually meet people. And the other thing, as I mentioned earlier, like take the step to talk. Like people, not everyone is going to choose to talk to you. I mean, someone is going to, there are people who will actually come to you and they're like, oh, so where are you from, and things like that. But then not everyone is going to take that extra step to come to you. So if you want to make these genuine connections with people, sometimes you gotta take an extra step. Be very motivated, like create, like, and the other thing is be patient. Like genuine connections take patience for you to actually have.
It's not always an instant thing.
Like in Uganda I'll meet you and be like, hey Chachi, what, and then I'll talk to you and be like today, and then tomorrow we'll meet, and like it will become like easy, like I'll meet you today and tomorrow I'm swinging by your house. You get, and I'm like, and I'm swinging by the kitchen. I'm making you food. Things like, which is not right here. Like so, like getting to
there are more steps to go through to reach that level of closeness.
Because it would take you. It would take you a while to actually even get to someone's house. Even someone giving you their address. That I live at this address. It's like, I don't know, sometimes like these addresses like personal. So I just don't want to share addresses with like any kind of random person I've just met. Oh, by the way, I live at maybe 2049 South, maybe Cliff something. I don't want to give you that if I just met you, because I don't know you. You're a stranger to me. So I mean, you need to understand that given the culture that you're in. Yeah.
Right. And how things are perceived, because if you did come out as open as you are used to maybe being in Uganda, then that might have deterred some Americans who would take that as like, oh no, like that's, you know, you have to be a different level to get to that that point of giving that information out.
Yeah.
So
very true.
Taking time to understand the culture that you are entering into, in order to know what is well received and what is appropriate, and which is it takes intentionality and effort, as you were mentioning. But the efforts you put in, especially in the beginning, they pay out.
Very true.
You know.
Yeah, like so. Right now, I've like made friends around. Per se, like there are things I'm actually still struggling with, like still maintaining relationships.
Yeah.
You know, I'll meet you today and we'll talk and we'll have like a very good conversation and be like, oh, by the way, we should actually get and catch up and get coffee sometime. Like, let's share numbers. And I'll get your number, you get my number, but then it's very hard to actually keep up with that, like that kind of connection, because I don't know what happens, but I'll take your number and I don't want to say I will forget to text you, but then a lot will happen through this kind of event of like, me and texting this person.
Yeah.
Or even them texting you as well.
Yeah.
So that happens. So it's like, it happened, like, I'm still struggling with that as well. I'm like, I need to get better
because
at that.
In the US, things are more planned. If you're going to do something with friends rather than just dropping by, as in Uganda, then that takes a different level of effort to continue to build the friendship.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Bailey? You want to share your story?
Sure.
Right here.
Sure. So, I mean, I had some differences in my experience compared to you. I was entering into a culture that was more communal than I was used to.
Yeah.
And so that was to my advantage, you know, because, Ugandans are a lot more open and a lot more
welcoming.
Yes, welcoming. That's exactly the word for it.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't have to necessarily search so hard, and also I benefited from living on a university campus because then I was already placed in an environment where there were individuals my age, you know. So I didn't have to
look for young adult
I didn't have to look for a young adults ministry or anything like that, because it was like I was already put in that
space.
Yes. And so which I could be put in that space, but if I didn't put any effort in, then I wouldn't have made any friends, you know. So I was placed into that environment, which gave me a head start, but I still had to then make the conscious choice to
step up,
to interact with people, because while a lot of Ugandans greet, you know, if I'm super closed off, then I could cut that conversation off, you know.
True. Yeah.
And I also, being a white person living in an African country, I could not hide. Okay?
You would stand out. You're dominant.
I automatically stand out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for you coming to the US, like, yes, you know, there are some things that make it evident that you're maybe newer here, or that you're not originally from the US.
Yeah.
Like, once people hear you speak, then maybe they are wondering about where your accent is from,
exactly.
You know, that sort of a thing. Exactly. But for me, it was like, it's an automatic, like, you're not from here.
It's very automatic. Now, like, look at this. Like, the US has, per se, like, black people.
Yeah.
You know, like, we everywhere. But then
Black Americans whose like ancestors
who lived here like a while ago. The only difference comes in when you talk, because when you talk, someone is going to say, "Oh, this one is not from here,"
right?
And then they're like, "Ways," but then in Uganda, there are no whites who have been there, like, or Americans who have been there for like a while, who have maybe picked up our accent, and they're like, someone else would speak and be like, but immediately you would speak, they'll be like, okay. One, you would stand out because you're white. Two, when you speak, they'll definitely know this one is not from here.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Exactly.
That was
so for
to your
me,
advantage.
it was to my advantage,
Okay.
in that I didn't have to seek people out because people
came to you.
Came to me,
Yeah,
yes, because
yeah.
not only was it obvious that I was new and not
Yeah.
from Uganda, but
Yeah.
also with the welcoming nature of Ugandans, like they had interest in greeting me and everything, so people came to me,
Sure.
which was nice.
Yeah.
A difficulty with that is that it was hard to know people's intentions.
Okay, yeah.
Because, some might approach me because
They think you have money?
they think I have money.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
just some of the associations with
Sure.
being a white person
Mm-hmm.
in an African country. So there was some of that of like, okay, like, are people trying to like get close with me so that they can get something from me?
Yeah. Or you could take them to the U.S.
Right. And not to say like everyone had those thoughts, but
Yeah.
like there is kind of a general assumption
That is very true.
that
I mean,
that
within...
befriending a white person, and especially an American, is an opportunity.
Yeah. Very
And
true.
so not that I, automatically assumed that of everyone that
because
came
you
up
didn't
to
know,
me.
you didn't know.
No,
I mean,
no,
you were...
and not that I'm not gonna I'm not gonna assume the worst of people,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I at least had to go in with that awareness of
Yeah.
okay, there is this association,
Yeah.
so I would have to kind of, I don't want to say profile people, but like just like in my first interactions with people, like try to kind of feel out what their intentions might be.
Yeah.
Another thing was sometimes people would want to approach me for the novelty of like they would be super curious, of like, whoa, like it's
Tell
a white
us.
person,
How did you get
or like
here?
like being curious about why am I in Uganda, why would I come to Uganda?
Yeah. Why Mukono?
Or can I touch your hair? Or like
you remind me there is a time I went to school. So there's a time in primary when I went to school and there was this Indian kid who used to like be in my class and his hair was a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like your hair. Can I touch your hair? Yeah. So that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Which honestly people do that to Africans as well. Like so it's just a different, it's like when it's something that is like you're not used to it, you're like amazed by it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, there would be some people that like would come up and talk to me, but like I was just I don't know, I was more like an object to them in that it was just like I was a object of interest, or like they were like kind of fascinated by me in a way, and I don't say that to like sound conceited, but just like fascinated as in like had all these questions for me, and
sure.
They didn't actually want to get to know me or have a like two-way genuine relationship of like I am invested in your life and you're invested in mine. Mm-hmm. It was more of just they just wanted to talk to me because they were curious,
And with through the people you actually talk to, that's where you would sieve, and you're like, okay, this one I'll keep, this one I'll not keep, this one I'll exactly.
Yes. And so I had to kind of sift through and in any interaction be kind of analyzing in a way of like trying to kind of gauge what their intentions were. And then it does take effort and energy. I would have, again, being on a university campus and having, standing out, I would meet new people every day. And sometimes not remember who I've met and who I haven't, because I was meeting so many new people, And I would have people be like, "Oh, hey, Bailey," and I'm like in my head thinking, I don't know who this person is, but apparently I've met them because they know me by name, and so then I would just be like, "Oh, hi."
I don't know whether did it ever get to happen to you that, because now for me when I got here, I don't know. It took me a while to get to know that people look different. Okay, so I'll see this white person, and I'll see this other white person, and they look the same.
Yes. Well, and so that people are like, "What? That doesn't make sense." But it's true because you're used to seeing faces of a certain kind.
Yep.
And so you could look at, at people in Uganda, and you could differentiate like the small details in facial structure and things like that.
Big eyes.
And you'd be able to tell like, oh, you're probably from this tribe, or you're probably from that. Like you can pick out those small details. But when I first was in Uganda, again, there are black people that live in the U.S., but I didn't live in areas where there were that many black people, and so it was hard for me to differentiate as much, or to like pick out the small details.
Sure.
And so you're meeting all these new people, and it's like, oh wait, they're all kind of looking the same to me. And with the more time I spent in Uganda, the more I could differentiate, and I could even be like, oh wait, you and you look like you're from the same tribe. Like, I could start to pick up on more of the details.
You could tell this person maybe comes from this part of town or this part of the country. Yeah. So when I came, like, there are people as well who would like meet me like maybe multiple times and like, hi Ian, and I'm like, where did I meet this one?
Right.
I'm like, cause,
you try to think back through and you're like,
And for some reason, they look alike, and I'm like trying to know, or is it so? Sometimes I would like confuse people, and I'm like, you see how you'd come and say hi, and maybe I know you, and then I'll meet some other person, and I'm like, I like, this person looks like this person, so I would like call them their name. Like, that would actually drive me to like this other point. Like, over the weekend, I actually met I met someone, like I went for coffee somewhere in the evening, and I met this person, and they were seated like this, and this person had like your same kind of hair, and for some reason they had almost the matching phone case as yours.
Okay.
Your eyes were almost the same, and so I go and buy coffee, and come back. And so I'm like looking at them, and they're looking at me, and I'm like, what's wrong with Bailey today? Like, why is she even here? She told me she has something going on. Why is she out? And I'm like, so when I go to them and I want to like get close and maybe give them like a side hug.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I like actually got close, and I'm like, this is not Bailey. I was like, this is not Bailey. I still struggle with actually differentiating people. I've been here for a year, but then still takes me a while. Yeah.
No, I totally understand that, and I think unless people have experienced it, they don't really understand that, and so then I would have people like some friends in Uganda be like, what? Like you don't remember? You can't tell the difference between the, and I'm like, no, at first I couldn't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Ugandans would do that to me and my white friends too. Like, or getting SIM cards. Now this story needs context, and I don't have time to give it context. But in getting SIM cards for our phones to work in Uganda, it was us group of North American study abroad students.
Okay.
And we walk up to the table, and they kept getting us confused of whose was whose, because we all looked the same to them.
Sure.
And so, that was at least a little bit comforting to realize that, okay, it's not only us that have a hard time differentiating the Ugandans, but also the Ugandans have a hard time differentiating us too. Yeah. Because again, your face and your eyes and your brain are used to
seeing a different kind
faces
of people.
And categorizing in a certain way, and now all of a sudden you have people that break that.
Sure.
So that was one of the struggles. Is I would have people that I apparently met and did
confused.
Yes, I would get them confused, or wouldn't remember where I met someone, and so then I would try to be discreet about it and kind of figure out where I maybe met them without coming right out and saying I don't remember you, because like that sounds so bad,
Yeah.
And then another difficulty was it's a lot of effort and energy, and you were mentioning this too.
Yeah.
To meet new people and to be trying to figure out, okay, what friendships do I invest in, or, you know, how do I continue this friendship, and what does it look like to keep it, and what ones are worth doing that with, or what friendships are going to be kept as more of a, okay, we say hi in passing, we might chat over a meal, but we're not going to like make plans with each other all the time.
Very true.
And it was also a struggle to keep motivated in making the friendships.
Yeah.
So the loneliness you described, I also can relate with. I experienced that as well.
So that's to say it doesn't only happen in this country, it happens everywhere.
Right. Because it can feel kind of isolating to be in a place where you don't fit in naturally, or you don't share a ton of things in common with the people that you're surrounded by. But in my case, I did have some people around that did come from a North American background.
Yeah.
Because I was in a study abroad program. And so there were some other students from the US and Canada who were studying in Uganda the same semester as me.
Sure. And
who were also staying on campus. And so we had each other then to kind of come back to when we needed a little bit of familiarity, you know, when we needed a little bit of comfort, or just to not have to explain yourself. You know, there were a lot of questions that I received repeatedly from people in Uganda, and to answer them, I usually would have to give a bunch of context.
Yeah.
And so that can be draining over and over and over again. And so it was kind of refreshing to have a group of people that could relate more to me.
Okay.
To be able to come back to and like, okay, wait, I can have a conversation with you and I don't have to explain as much, or you're not going to be asking me all these questions.
Yeah.
But that led to a temptation to just keep with the people that were familiar,
and not go out
and
more.
not go out and really take the opportunity to meet and make friendships with Ugandans.
Sure.
And the other thing is, when you're keeping to yourself, your group of people from the same place, that also deters people from approaching you. You know, the dining hall on campus, you know, that's a place where people hang out and eat meals from, and if there was a table and it was a bunch of us study abroad students from North America, well, for a Ugandan to walk up to a whole table
that would be
of
hard.
us, that's so intimidating.
I would never do that.
Exactly. And so I witnessed how that would keep people away.
Very true.
And so I tried to really challenge myself with, okay,
stepping out.
Yes, stepping out. You know, it's okay for me to sometimes be, you know, sitting with my fellow North Americans.
Yeah.
Because, again, you need that every once in a while. You need some connection. You need a little bit of a break, I guess, from the effort and energy it takes to make new friends in a new country.
Yeah.
But I can't always be sitting with them, because if I do, then I'm putting up a barrier from others.
For others to approach you.
Exactly. So that was something that I tried to kind of balance, is, and also just prioritizing putting myself in places that would encourage the forming of friendships. You know, sitting at a table, like, there's a table in the dining hall and it has like maybe 2 Ugandans at it.
Sure.
Okay. Me and one other North American, then we have a buddy at least, but let's go up to this table, and then it's a less intimidating environment. Or, just like, not hiding in my room all the time.
Sure.
But being in places on campus where people come around.
Yeah, going for like different events that are set up within.
Yes, going to events, getting involved in clubs or things on campus.
Yeah.
Going to the places on campus that people frequent, because then I'm at least putting myself in a place where people can
approach you still. Yeah. So, are there friends that you created back in Uganda that you still have and count on as genuine friends?
Yes, yes. Some from that I made on campus, and also a friend from my internship. That, now we call each other sister. And
also.
Definitely have some friendships that have lasted, and it, again. Not all of the friendships, I think this is something important too, not all of the friendships that you make in a new country need to be super deep friendships.
Yeah.
Or super close friendships.
Yeah.
You know, there's different kinds of friends.
Sure.
I had friends that I did share, you know, like, we got to know each other on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Like my roommate.
Yeah.
And... you know, she and I had some deeper talks and we got to know each other on a different level. I also had a lot of friends that it was more casual, more surface level.
Yeah, that happens everywhere.
Exactly.
Even when you've not moved to a different country, you have friends who are surface friends. We have friends we form deep connections with, and
and I had to learn to, like, celebrate even, you know, the surface friendships. Like, okay, I don't need to get super, super close with everyone.
Yeah.
But it's still a mark of success that I have friends that, hey, we always say hi to each other as we pass by each other on campus, or that, you know, they'll come up and join our table at the dining hall, things like that.
Yeah. So as we are actually closing, getting to close this here, are there any tips that you want to give people who are actually traveling to a new country on how to overcome barrier of creating friendships in the opposite countries?
I think drawing from the things that I mentioned, I would say to be analytical, because you have to kind of gauge what people's intentions might be, but be open-minded too. And put yourself out there. Don't close yourself off. It is hard and challenging and can be discouraging, honestly, at moments, but giving up is not the answer.
Yeah.
Because then you really will feel lonely and isolated, you know?
True.
And then also, being intentional about the spaces you're putting yourself in.
Yeah.
And making yourself available to friendships, but also not being afraid to initiate, like you had mentioned too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of the things she said, these apply to both countries. So, I mean, whether you've gone to any other country, if you really need to get connected to friends and keep up with different friends, I mean, you gotta step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, as I said in my story, like, go engage in church activities, go out to churches, find young adult communities that you can actually engage with, and with that.
And one thing that I'm also just thinking of is a great way to initiate something with a person you've met in the new country is to ask them to teach you something or show you something from their culture and lifestyle.
Yeah.
That was a huge, huge source of bonding for me with fellow students on campus, is asking my roommate, hey, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Yeah.
And then as she's showing me how to wash my laundry with my hands, we're also having conversation and getting to know each other.
Very true.
So I would say that can be a good in. If you don't know where to start from, or you're like, well, what can I ask that's not weird? Like, that's a great place to begin from, because it's something that they can talk about, because they've had experience living there and know what they're doing more than you do. So, and it's a place of, it's an easy entry point, I guess.
So more use your story, use your story per se, because I'll use my, because most of the people, like, how definitely create connections. Like,
Yeah.
I'll ask a lot of people, like, people will ask me about Uganda, and I'll give them a whole full packed story, movie. And within this kind of stories, this is when they'll keep asking, and then we'll actually make connection with people.
Well, I think that leads us to a segment that we end every episode with. And that segment is titled
Called Out.
So, in this segment, we talk about differences in language or phrases used in the U.S. compared to Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to be talking about a phrase that not really a phrase, a word used in a different way than I had ever known before.
Okay.
And that is the word jazz.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jazz.
Not jazz music.
Who kind of thought it was jazz music? Raise your hand.
You can't see their hands. But, yeah, I heard this word used in a new way when I came to Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a fitting one to talk about today because, you know, in making friends, you're having conversations.
Sure.
And that is what jazz is or is about. So Ian, please explain the word jazz.
Okay, jazz would be like a story that I have, or gossip I have for you. Imagine something happened, and I'm like, I'm going to tell Bailey something. So the next day I'll meet you. I'll be like, oh, by the way, I got jazz for you.
Right.
You know, it's not going to be something like. Because I've used that since I was in school, like since I was in high school. It's something like, oh, by the way, I got jazz for you, you know? So that would entail, like, I have a story for you, I have gossip to tell you.
Right. Or I've also heard the phrase, like, let's jazz, like, to talk about the gossip or drama or this big story. And I don't know that we really have a one word for that in the U.S. Like, and it probably changes, you know, like as generations and the lingo changes. But I don't know, kind of like, oh, we need to chat, or like, I have tea for you, maybe.
I have tea for you. Let's go.
Okay, but that probably makes me sound like, I'm sure the kids these days don't actually use that, but that's like when I was in maybe high school, that's kind of what we would say, like, or like spill the tea. Which is, it's like you've got some big story or news or gossip to share. Or, I guess jazz could also kind of be used for like, chatting or sharing them. So it's a term that I had never used in that way before, but once I got to know it, I loved it. I loved it because, I mean, I'm a people person and I'm a talker. And so
she talks a lot, by the way.
Yes, it's true. But it was a fun thing of like friends being like, "Oh, I have jazz," and I was like, "Ooh, okay, let's do it." Or like I had friends that would come to expect it from me. Like they would be like, Bailey,
get us the jazz. Yeah. Let's get the jazz going. Let's get the jazz going.
Or like people would say, Bailey, she's always jazzing in the DH.
Exactly. Yeah. So like different phrases on where the word jazz can be used right there.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we should start using it in the U.S. That's just my personal opinion.
Exactly. But so if you meet me the next time, just ask for the jazz. I'll give you the jazz. I'll give you the jazz. Ask Bailey for jazz. She will give you the jazz. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we need to get this to catch on.
Yeah, we could rock this right here, right? Okay. Given that, I don't know.
That's all the jazz we have for you today.
We don't have any more jazz about that, but if you have anything that you want us to jazz about, okay?
We'll just see how many times we can fit it in 6 minutes.
So if you have anything you want us to jazz about, just write it down there in the comment section, and don't forget to give us the thumbs up, give us the likes. We love those things. Subscribe to this channel if you actually like it. Some of you get to watch and forget to subscribe and like. Okay? So guys, we love doing this content for you. So just give us those thumbs up. Let's get to know you actually liking and watching this. And with that, we hope we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Alrighty. Have a good day.
See ya.